Yeah, hi, good evening. Okay, let's get started.
So, Mr. Ravi, looks like
Yeah.
something's
Mm.
going on with the website. So, when I put in the email to go ahead and start the free trial, it
Mhm.
takes you to the Azure page. Okay, and when you click on start the Azure free trial, it's loading, but it's not going to any further page. Is that somebody else experiencing that?
It should work fine. All right. So now, you want to make me as a global admin, right? So for further, I require that. Okay. See, this is how wherein you'll be onboarding any users in your Azure Active Directory, right? So Azure Active Directory will be seeing uh, for your Office 365 services in cloud, right? And this is how wherein you'll be onboarding a user. Okay. So now this is a regular user in your tenant. Okay.
Okay.
So now what you're going to do is you're going to delegate a permission to me as a global administrator to manage your Azure Active Directory. Okay. This is a completely a different role-based access control in Azure Active Directory. So we have a module, the Azure Active Directory, wherein we will be discussing more on that time. Okay. Yeah, you can go to that user, select that, click on that Ravi. Yeah. So you can see the assigned roles. Yeah, click on that. So add assignments. So here you can search for global administrator. Yeah, select that. And when you click on hide there, you get an option to go next. Yeah, add. So with this, what you gave is you gave me a most high privileged role in the your tenant on the Azure Active Directory. Uh-huh. Okay. And next part is I need some permissions to create some services in Azure so that whatever the practicals I'll be showing, I'll be creating here in your tenant, but I will delete after once the class is done, right? So that I will not be consuming any of your, what do you say, the credits here. Okay, not very much. Okay. So now what you can do is search for subscription. Yeah, go to subscription. Yeah, select Azure subscription one. So go to access control IAM. Yeah, third up. That's right. Add assignments, add role assignment. Yeah. So here you can search for owner.
Which
Uh,
one?
Scroll down, you can see owner. It's not there.
No.
Contributor or something. Check that.
There's Azure Relay owner. I see.
No,
Or you could
okay.
just type owner. Just type owner maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was. Sure, relay owner, full access to the Azure. That is for Azure Relay Service. So we need the subscription owner.
Maybe you can type subscription.
Mm, one second, hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you make me as a presenter? You can click on my name and you get option, more option, make me as a presenter. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So let me log in here. Thank you so much for creating an account for me.
Okay.
Let me log in first. Okay, so now I have logged into this tenant. Let me go to subscription. I think I cannot see the subscription here.
Tenant is Hassan, right?
Yeah, I'll explain you that. Okay, I guess somewhere I missed it. Uh, okay, I thought I'll be getting option here. Mm, okay, one second, Asan. I'll just make you as a presenter again. Sorry for that. Okay, I'll guide you once again. Please just go through it.
Okay.
Because I don't have read access, so I'm not able to see it. Yeah. Can you share your screen? All right. So go to the same subscription. Come one step back. Yeah. Yeah. Select the Azure subscription one and access control IAM. You can say third option. That's right. So on top, you can see add, right? So go to that add option. Yeah. Add role assignment. Same thing we came now. Now go to the role assignment. We should see there only. I don't know why we are not seeing.
Okay.
You type owner, Azure full access. One second, hold on. Somewhere you can see subscription, Azure owner, graph owner. Don't see anything. Don't know what. Uh, okay. Do one thing. Just check over there. Type you sort with the built-in.
Sorry, say that again.
The type, no, the type of role on the right side. You can see. You can choose. Okay, wait. Okay. Privilege administrator role. Sorry. Yeah. Choose that. Yeah, it's here. Yeah. Click on owner there. Not able to select. Yeah. And select members. Ravi, select Ravi. Select. Next. Yeah. Next. One second. Come previous one step. Allow users only assign selected role, unselected principal. Yeah. What user can do? Allow user to assign all roles. Yeah, a lot of things they have changed it. Okay, click on next. Let's see. Okay. Can okay, come back a previous. Use the second option there. Yeah, allow all. Yeah, that's right. Next. Assign. Oh, yeah. You can make me as a presenter now. All right. Thanks so much. Okay. So we'll come back here. So yesterday we were discussing about the tenant and other stuff. I'll show you practically now. So first thing what you did, you have given your email ID and you created your Microsoft account. Okay. Only Microsoft account is created with your user ID, like your email ID. And then you have given your details like your card, phone number, right? And with that, step one is your tenant is created. Okay. So the Microsoft domain name is ABC and whatever the email ID you have been used, right? At the rate that has been picked up as your tenant ID as default. So I'll show you that. So where you can see your tenant ID, you can see in the Azure Active Directory, or now it's called as a Entra ID. Microsoft Azure. Now the name is Microsoft Entra, and Azure Active Directory is Entra ID. Okay. So you can search Active Directory, or even you can search Entra ID, you can see that. Okay. Go to this. So this is your default directory. The same thing, no, like in your on-premises, you see something called as a Active Directory. That is the first thing what you build in your network to manage your identity and access management. And then you'll be building your email and your chat and so on. So here also it's the same. So this is your default Azure Active Directory, or even it's called as your tenant. So as I said, you on Microsoft.com is a cloud domain, Microsoft domain name. Under this, individual tenant will be created. So now Hasan has used his email ID, right? So Hasan KHATEEBM @gmail.com. That is what you have been used. So in this case, what happened is it has taken your entire email ID because you have used your Gmail ID. So Gmail is a public domain, right? Even I can have @gmail.com. Someone else can also have that. But actually, when you use your corporate email ID @ whatever, right? So that domain address will be used. So you can even check in your organization laptop, right? So you can go portal.azure.com. If at all, if you're using Office 365 or any Azure service, the first thing which is going to create is your tenant and your Azure ID. Under that only subscription and other stuff will come. Okay. So you will have by default read access. You can see that. Okay. So something, it will be your company name or whatever the ID they have been used. So that will be used here. Okay. So this is your tenant under on Microsoft.com. Okay. If I create a separate tenant, right? So now Imran was trying to create his account. So when he uses his email ID or whatever, right? And his tenant will be created under Microsoft. So it's completely different and your environment is completely different. Any questions on this? Okay, don't worry. We have a separate module. The Azure AD, I'll be explaining more there. Here, whatever we discussed yesterday, I'm just giving you the architecture, showing it on the live. Okay. So this is my tenant, which has been created now. Okay. So under this tenant, what we have done is we have created one subscription. So what is subscription here? So you have your Netflix subscription, Amazon Prime, right? So subscription is nothing but your account or your billable account, right? So now we have created subscription under this tenant now. Okay. So where you can see, you go to your subscription. You can see there is one subscription which is showing under my tenant. So this was not showing before to me because I didn't add the permissions, at least minimum read permission to see the subscription. If I don't have read also, then I will not be able to see it. Okay. So we have created one subscription under this tenant. If you want to have more than one subscription, yes, you can have it. Good, no? Let's take example. I want to have a different billing account for my test and for my production and for my development. You can do that also. I can create one more subscription, whatever it is, I can do it. Okay. Or even I can have other services like Office 365 services. So hope you guys have been heard about Office 365. So that is an email, chat, and SharePoint services in Microsoft Cloud, right? So if at all, if you're not creating Azure, you have only Office 365, the steps are same. Whatever you have created your tenant, then your Office 365 licenses, what you'll be procuring will be there in your under your tenant that you can start consuming the services. Okay. So all this thing will come under one single umbrella. Any questions on this?
No.
And again, no, what will happen here is the Azure Active Directory, what we created, no, that is also a cloud service which provides you the identity and access management. Okay. So this is also one of the cloud services. Even this is also a chargeable, but whatever we are consuming, it's a free trial. I'll tell you when we go to the Azure AD, what is Azure AD, Azure AD Premium and all. Okay. So now we have did some permissions, right? So if you observe, so first thing what you guys did is like Hassan did is, so Hassan onboarded me as a administrator or a user in the tenant, right? So first Ravi user ID is created where in the Azure Active Directory. So Azure Active Directory, what it will do is where you can create your users, groups, service principal, and you can manage in the cloud, including your devices. Okay, even Azure Active Directory is a wide, and that's a completely different topic. Okay, but still we will be covering some parts as part of Azure Administration. Okay, so now Ravi is onboarded in this particular tenant or in this Azure AD initially. So it was a regular user. And then I have asked you to make me as a global admin. Okay. So global admin is the top role in the tenant. Okay. So this global admin or whatever, right? So that is a separate role-based access control for your Azure Active Directory services. There's a separate role-based access control for your Azure AD. Okay. So that is what we did it over here. If you go to your Entra ID, if you go to the roles and administrator now, this is a separate set of roles and administrator for your Azure Active Directory. Okay. And then if you observe, we have delegated permission on the subscription level, right? So this subscription is completely a different role-based access control, right? So what you did, you gave Ravi owner permission on this subscription one. Suppose if you have more than one subscription now, wherein you'll be delegating the permission separately to each subscription. So whatever the permission I have, only I can view those properties, not beyond that. Like if you observe before, when you created Ravi and when I shared my screen, I was not able to see the subscription because I didn't add permission. Later you delegated owner permission, I was able to see. Means the permissions, whatever we have on the subscription level are a different role-based access control. The sense for Azure AD, there is a different role-based access control, and for your Azure subscription, you have a different role-based access control. Same way for Office 365, like your email, there is a separate role-based access control. For SharePoint, for Teams, there is a separate role-based access control. Some roles in Office 365 can see here, some you don't see. You will be seeing in that particular service only. Okay, need not to scratch too much. So here, what I'm trying to tell you is Azure AD is a separate cloud services under your tenant where you'll be managing your identity and access management like users, group, SPN, and devices. And this has a separate role-based access control to manage your Azure Active Directory services. And there is a separate role-based access control to manage your subscriptions. Any questions on this?
What's SPN again? Sorry.
Okay, SPN is nothing but service principals. So that is what you'll be using as a identity, like your username and password, no? Like that, you'll be having the SPNs. Okay. Here's some link. You can just refer it. See, this is a service principal object. All right. So the link in the chat box, you can note that. Fine. Okay. So now these are the separate role-based access control for your directory or like Azure Active Directory. And when you go to your subscription, you can see this access control IAM, right? So this is a separate access control. You can check my access. And if I want to delegate to someone, I can do it. Since I'm a owner, I can delegate the permission. And contributor, I can create, delete, but I cannot delegate the permissions. And there are different roles. You can assign the role as required to individual. Okay. So this is about your delegation. So this is how you will be onboarding an administrator. So in this case, to take example, in this organization, I'm a new Azure admin, right? So first thing you will create the user ID, and then you'll be delegating the required permissions on your subscription level. We will see further on the application. Okay. So now once you create your subscription, what is the next? Right? So next you'll be building your services like virtual machine, storage, network, or whatever you want. Okay. How you're going to do that is create a resource group. Okay. Any services you want to host. So first thing what you're going to do, you're going to create your Azure account, and with that tenant will be created. You'll be creating your subscription, and you cannot directly create a resources under subscription. So there is a hierarchy called the resource group. You have to create the resource group. You can create one or more than one resource group. Okay, under a subscription, you can create one or more than one as per your requirement. I'll tell you what is resource group and other stuff. Okay, so once you create your resource group, under that only you can create your resource. So let's call this as a production, or let's say this is my project one resource group. And this is my project two resource, and this is my project three resource group, or however, right? So we'll discuss that. So once you create your resource group, under that only you can create your resources. Like you want to deploy a virtual machine, under resource group, you will be creating your virtual machine instance. Okay, you can deploy one or more than one, the same resource group or under different resource group. You know, deploy some SQL database. Okay, you can deploy it however you want. Okay, so this is how hierarchy will be there. So this is your tenant. The tenant you will have your subscription. Under subscription, you will be creating your resource group. Under resource group, will be deploying your resources. Okay. So this is how your resources will be deployed. So resources will be your leaf object. Yeah. Any questions on this? I'll show you this practically now.
What is this RBAC again?
Role-based access control
Role-based access control.
means,
Okay,
let's take
that's just
example.
it's essentially just the kind of the portal, right?
No, it's not like that. Let's take example now. Like in your organization, you have a engineer level 1, engineer level 2, engineer level 3,
Yes,
architect,
yes.
right? So now I don't want to give a complete control to level 1 engineer.
Oh, got it, got it. I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. So whatever the role he owns, you can delegate only those permissions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll show you that. So if
Uh,
you go to this,
resources could be Windows too, right?
see, Windows is an operating system which
Yes,
runs on top of your VM. That is your
yes,
OS.
yes.
Okay. So your virtual machine is your resource.
Okay, got
Okay. And the OS on top of that application is different one.
it.
See, again, one more example here. I was telling so virtual machine is a infrastructure as a service. So now, if you want a database, what do? You create a virtual machine. You install like with the Windows or Linux OS. Then you'll be installing your SQL application, right? Once you install a SQL application on top of that, then you'll be creating your database, SQL instance. Correct now?
Yes.
So here in cloud or like in Azure, the virtual machine is a resource on top of which you're running some application, whatever it is, and you're running your instance, SQL instance. But again, you can directly create a database instance in cloud also, which is a platform as a service. So beyond that, the OS and the compute will be there, but we don't manage it. But we will be seeing this as a resources in cloud. Okay.
Okay.
We will see that by one. Don't worry. So this part is clear, the hierarchy.
Yes.
Okay. So now I have a tenant, I have a subscription, but in this we have not created anything. So what I'm going to do is if I want to deploy any services, I cannot create a VM or any instance or like any services without a resource group. So first step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a resource group. So search here for resource. You can see the resource group console here or the blade. So now I'll be creating a resource group. So let me create a resource group. So let's take example. I have a project one and I want to keep all my project one resources under this group. We will discuss more this resource group in tomorrow class. Okay. But today I'll show you like how it looks when you deploy a service. So I'll say this is my project one resource group. So which physical region you want? So the group is not a physical one, it's a logical container, okay, or logical one. You can say like your WhatsApp group, right? So it's just a logical one where the individual users or members or resources, whatever. Okay. So, anyways, the location doesn't matter here. I will choose whatever the location. Let's go with the East US. So there is something called as a tagging, right? So tagging is nothing but like labeling, we can say that, right? So we label a file saying that so and so that you can refer what this is. So I'll say this is for my project one, or project is a label name, and what is the project name? I will say this is my payroll app. Okay, that's for your easy reference, or even I can say cost center. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, right? So this will help you whenever you want to sort out the resources with the cost center name or with the tag name. No, you can do that. So that's how this will help. Okay, let's create this. So resource group is just a group, right? So there is nothing cost on that. So like this, you can create it. So I'll create one more. However, you want to keep your data, like in your computer also you create your folder structure, no? So that's how you can keep your resources in the cloud. So I'll say this is my project to, if I want this to be in West US or somewhere else. Okay. So like this, you can create one or more than one subscription. Now you can see we are on this layer. Okay. Sorry, not here. It's here on the resource group layer. So now I want to deploy any services. Yes, I can do it. So you can go to the resource and you can create here. Otherwise, you can select the service and you can create that as well. So I'll say I want to create a virtual machine. So I'll type VM or virtual whatever. I will see the virtual machine blade. Go to the virtual machine blade here. So now let's take example, right? So I have deployed a resource group called project for my payroll application. So now the payroll application team, they require a Windows machine with 2 CPU, 8 GB RAM, and they want this machine to be available in east of US with Windows Server 2019 OS. Okay, this is the ask. So now Ravi is your Azure admin and who has a required permission on the subscription one to deploy the resource. So Ravi, what is doing is deploying the resources in the cloud. So this is what is the Azure admin job, right? So I got a requirement to deploy some services. I'm deploying it and I will be managing my infrastructure. Okay. So let's create a new virtual machine here. Create Azure virtual machine. So this we will discuss when we go to the virtual machine lab, right? So now I'm just showing you overview how to create a service and how it looks like in your architecture. So as I said, if you want to deploy any services, you will be deploying under the subscription, right? You can choose if you have more than one subscription, you can choose under which you want to deploy this. Under this subscription, what are the resource group available? It will show here. You can choose under which resource group you want to deploy this resource. So I want to deploy under project one. And further is your virtual machine details, like what is the computer name you want to refer it to see in the what in your Azure portal as well as in the operating system inside the VM. So I'll say payroll server one. Okay. And again, which region you want to deploy this machine, right? So this VM will be created in this physical region in Microsoft data center. Suppose if I want to deploy in somewhere else, Europe, Australia, I can choose it. Okay. So this is how you can choose the locations. So these are the major location which is available. You can choose. For now, I'm going with East US, and there are other configuration. This we will discuss when we go to the module 3, module 4. Okay. For now, I'll say no redundancy. What OS you want, you can choose. So I want Windows Server 2019. Okay. So here you have the configuration. You can choose the configuration. Means what is the CPU, what is the RAM. Okay, not here. Yeah, it's here. Okay. I want to go with the 2 CPU, 16 GB RAM, or whatever the available combination you can go. Okay. Let's go with the default setting for now. Okay. And this is the username, right? So it's asking for a username to create. This is the username to log into your VM. This is a different username what I have here. Okay. This we will cover later in with a name called Kumar. Okay. There are still more configuration. This we will discuss later. For now, I'll just create it. Okay. So this is how you'll be deploying any services in your tenant. See here also you can see now I just put my requirement. So backend data center and their physical hardware, hypervisor, right? I'm not touching anything up. So I put my requirement. So this is the cost per hour, whatever it is. And I'll be creating it. See any issues on backend, no, like the hardware, data center, or on the hypervisor, that is taken care by Microsoft. I need not to worry, right? So once the machine is created, this is an infrastructure as a service virtual machine. So from here, like how do you connect to your server running in your premises like Windows or Linux, same way you will be taking like RDP or SSH for Linux. And from there is my scope of management, like deploying application, either I do it or my application team will do, or any troubleshooting, any installation, configuration, that is my scope of management. Clear on this? I'll show you once again the slide. See, this is what we deploy the infrastructure as a service. Okay. So virtualization server storage network is the Microsoft management. I deployed a VM from OS onwards is my management. You're getting an idea now?
Yes.
All right. So now you can see the required services are getting created. So this we will discuss, don't worry. When we go to the virtual machine module, we will discuss on that time. Okay, the VM is deployed. When you can go here also, you can see the server is running in East US. So now I want to log in and I want to install my application or whatever, right? I can do it. So this is the IP address. So currently there's a public IP. I will cover this more when we go to the VM topic. I'm just showing you like how it looks. So now this is a virtual machine running in Microsoft Cloud, right? So this is infrastructure as a service. So now if you have created your server in your on-premises data center, how you're going to connect? Same way you can connect. Okay. I will go to the Microsoft remote desktop application. If you're using your Windows machine, you can go to Microsoft remote desktop application, the RDP application, and you can connect that. Okay. So this is an app for Mac. Okay. I'll give the VM name. Fine. Okay. Let me try to log in. Okay. Hold on. Credentials are, I've already saved here. Say ask for credential. All right. So now how do you connect, like giving your username and password? You can connect in the same way. So I created a username called Kumar, logging in with that. Even you can integrate this with your Active Directory also. We will cover that later. See, I have connected to a Windows server running in Microsoft data center in east part of US. Okay. So anything beyond this is Microsoft is going to take care. So from here onwards is my scope. If the machine is not powering on, right? So I will ask them to check that. If the machine is on, my application is not running on top of that. So that I cannot go with Microsoft because that is my scope of management. And if at all, if Microsoft can help, so that will be the additional services. Or let's take example, this is your OS, right? So there is some OS related issue. You log a case with Microsoft. That will not go to Azure. That will go to your regular Microsoft Windows support. Or you install a SAP here or Oracle and you have some issues with that, right? So you will log a call with your Oracle vendor and you will work all that. So Microsoft will not come in. So from here, I can install any application like SQL application, create the instance, or run any .NET application, any application you can run it. Okay. Any questions so far?
I have a question. So let's say if we want to close this, PC, will it return back the money or it's spent already?
Okay. See, there is a different type of pricing model that we'll be discussing in the Azure calculator. Okay. So don't worry. So for now, I'll give you the overview. Okay. So here we'll be discussing on that. So now, whatever the server I created, so it runs on a hourly basis. Per hour, so and so rupees, right? So if you actually see, I'll show you once again deploying a new VM. whatever the configuration you're going to choose, right? So let's say this is my VM2, and now you can see there is some cost it is showing here, $159 per month if you go with this configuration. So this will be hourly charge. So I run for 2 hours, I'll be charged for 2 hours.
Okay, makes
If I
sense.
go with a different configuration, it charges in different. And also there's a fixed price also that we will cover in the calculator. Okay. Yeah. Again, one more thing I wanted to show you. So what will happen is now the VM is created now. This is charging for you. Money is getting deducted. Means whatever the configuration I have been choose, it's hourly. There is some money will be deducted. Where it will be deducting? It will be deducting in your Azure free trial. Okay. So I'll show you that as well. When you go to your subscription, so first thing, whenever you create your subscription, you need to validate whether it's a free trial or what. Go to your subscription, and here you can see $200 free credit, which is going to expire in 30 days. This will confirm you that this is a free trial. Clear?
Okay.
Okay.
How can we know is this infrastructure or platform? How can we know?
No, that's what. No, like VM is your infrastructure as a service.
Okay.
Means anything you manage from the OS onwards, that is your infrastructure as a service.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
And
Let's take example.
they will tell us, right, which one we have to create it.
See, okay, let's take example. In initial days, I will say, hey, please create a virtual machine Windows server for me. Okay. And as and when it days goes, now like your experience count, then you'll be asking why you want a virtual machine. Then I will say, I want to create a SQL database. I'm just giving an example, right? Okay. One option is I can create a VM, buy the SQL Server license, install it, create the instance. Otherwise, I can create a direct SQL database here. So then you can ask me, hey, here is also an option. Are you interested on this? And these are the benefits. And these are the plus or minus in both. So then you are giving an option for me to choose whether I want to go with IAS or PAS.
Okay.
Got it. In the sense, that is where the architecting will come now. Now you're working as an administrator, right? So you're deploying services and managing it. And as and when the day goes, right? So you'll be counting your experience and you'll be exploring the services. So end of the day, the cost saving and same time your application availability and reliability, then you'll be suggesting, okay, you can go with this option. This works good for you. Means it serves the same purpose with less administration, with some amount of savings there. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a pass. You can see, I'm creating the direct database instance. In a sense, I'm creating directly this one instead of deploying a VM, OS, SQL, right? So I'm directly deploying this one as a pass here. This is one approach. And again, no, like backend also it will have a server, OS, everything will be there. But my administration will be only on this. We will see this. Okay. We are going to create two PaaS services, then you'll get idea.
Okay.
Okay, here we have two PaaS services. You'll get idea there. Okay, you can play around whatever, right? So you can play around there. Okay. So first thing now, whenever you create your subscription, make sure that you have created your free trial, right? So with this, you can come to know. Okay. And again, no, like I'm the owner of this, I will not be able to see any billing information here, like your card details or whatever has been typed here, that I cannot see or no one can see that. Okay. Don't worry on that. Okay. And one more thing, whenever you create any services, right? So as I mentioned, the VM, if I just created a virtual machine, it's up and running, right? So it is charging. If I leave as it is, right? If I run for 24 hours, the 24 hours amount will be deducted from this $200. Okay, don't get exhausted. Make sure that you use this subscription for next 30 days. Okay, so whatever the lab you do, right? So what I usually do, I create a resource group. I deploy the whatever the services I want. Once that is done, what I will do, I will delete the entire resource group. Okay. If I do this, what will happen? Whatever is created for me will be deleted. And whenever I require, I can create it back
Okay.
so that I can effectively use this subscription for entire 30 days. And if required later, I can create one more. If I leave as it is, what will happen? So that will be charging. So unnecessary, I'm wasting. Okay. This will take a couple of minutes to delete. That's okay. Yeah. So far, any questions, any doubts?
No.
Hope you guys are.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So
I also have a
after
quick question.
I have after completing this Azure Administration course, right? Is it
Mhm.
mandatory to get a certification, or or else we can get a job without a certification?
See, without certification, also you can get a job, right?
Mhm.
Certification will help you, right? It says you're a certified guy.
Mhm.
So that will give you an added advantage. So I always recommend once you complete your course, do the certification,
And the certification, the exam is multiple choice, or
multiple choice, no
oh,
practicals, no practicals, no, maybe some stimulation like drag and drop. But Azure Admin only drag and drop is your multiple choice only, but no practicals like create a VM, all those stuff will not be there.
okay, okay. And how much is the fee if you the certificate?
I guess it's $150. I guess I don't know what they have done the feesing. Show you. Wait a minute. $165 USD,
Okay.
but it's cheaper in India. I don't know. It's 4,800. 165 is too much, right? When you compare to 4,800
Yes.
INR.
Yes.
Do we
Yeah,
have to be physically in India to pick that and do the exam? Or?
I don't know. Like nowadays, how it is working. See, earlier before COVID, there was no um, like you cannot do online. So you have to go to the Microsoft center, like Pearson View Center, and you have to take.
Mm.
Earlier it was Prometric. Later they moved to Pearson View, and due to COVID, like they have allowed to take exam
Home, yeah.
from online. That's right. Even I took long back from the home itself. But I guess like yes, physically you should be there because you cannot change location or something, and you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you can do it online.
Mm.
Let me see how it goes. Even I need to renew mine. Yeah, because your screen will be shared with someone, right? And there is some application you need to install before the exam, right? So a lot of stuffs are there. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay,
Yeah, I
I
have
cleared
a quick
everything.
question.
Yeah, please. Okay, all right. So with this, what we have done is we covered whatever the discussion we did, right? So we covered only till here. Okay. So access control also we covered a brief, not in depth. So tomorrow we will be covering more on the access control, like permissions, whatever we discussed now, and then we'll be covering this stuff. Okay. And one way we have seen how do you manage your Azure with the graphical user interface. Tomorrow I'll just briefly cover these three topics. Then we will start from the other topics in module two.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Mm.
Sorry. So on the in the portal, there's when you go into it, there's a quick start. center,
Yeah.
okay, where it has like I think it's a tutorial. So do we need to go through that in order to access the portal, or
Not
it'll be beneficial for us to do that, or
Yeah, yeah, you can do it.
you can access the resources right away?
Yes, yes, yes. Which one you're telling about? Quick start. This one? Okay,
Yeah,
this is just an introduction, right? Yeah, yeah, you can start it. So only
so this
see
is
this
good
will be your
information here, right?
yes, yes documents you can see.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
So
you can
once
open
we
some.
complete this, then on the left there's a handle for all the other stuff, right? Resources and everything.
Yes, exactly. See, this will tell you like how do you get start, how do you get your free trial account, architecting your Azure solution, right? So this will give you some documentation kind of and some video tutorial. You can go through it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
One more question for me. Like
Mhm.
in the real time, right now, how many years of experience they are asking for Azure for the job?
Uh, 1 year, 2 year is also good.
Oh,
And see, um, apart from Azure admin, right? So they are also asking a bit more on Windows experience, Linux experience, some scripting experience. So these are the additional things you may come across.
okay,
Don't worry. So whatever we are doing here, it's a real time what you do in your day-to-day activity. Okay.
okay,
Where you'll be seeing your scenarios there or some issues where you will be troubleshooting from your side. Sometimes you'll be engaging with Microsoft or other vendor, right? So that is the only additional thing what you see in a real time. Other than that, whatever you deploy in your production or in your organization is the same what you do in your practical also. Here, whatever we do is a real time what we are doing it. Okay, it's not a stimulation at all.
okay. And I guess AWS is almost the same thing, right?
It's the same, no different. So if you want to deploy a virtual machine, the architecture is same. The
Okay,
options in your UI and the costing and some features in deploying and managing will vary. That's it.
okay,
Okay, like there it's called EC2 instance. Here we call it as a virtual machine. And taking RDP is same. There also the RDP is same, no difference. You can join this machine to your domain. There also you can join your machine to your domain. Right? Only your the interface will differ. That's it.
okay,
See, that's what I told you now. Like if you're good with one cloud, you can manage any cloud. Here and there the options are varying that you can patch it up and you can manage it.
okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions before we wind up?
Just
And
curious to where you're located. You're in India, like which city?
No, no, I'm in Europe, Germany.
Okay.
and um, mm, if you could tell, I we need recordings for yesterday and today.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be getting a portal access. Right? So from where you can access your recordings, and this document links will be shared to your contact details, right? So the entire materials will be shared. Don't worry, you can refer that as
All right. Thank you.
well. Okay. And please don't delete my account. Let it be. I don't use this. Only on this class I will use it. So whenever I deploy any services, I'll remove it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. So any other questions? Let me know. If not, then we can wind up.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. See you then. Catch you
Bye.
later.